According to Operation Rescue, one of the leading pro-life Christian activist organizations in the nation, about half of all pregnancies are unintended. Of these unintended pregnancies, 47% are birthed, 40% are aborted, and 13% are miscarried. Think about who you see as the most valuable and inspirational person in your life. Can you imagine if they were never born? If that person's mother, through the exercise of her pro-choice right, chose to abort that child, refusing to honor his or her right to life? I am sure this is a difficult and emotional thought for many of you to process, but it is a reality in our nation today. Now, together, we must make strides to prevent this social problem. As a Christian woman and a family member of a pro-life activist, I recognize the power that is being placed into women's hands to determine the life or death of an unborn human being when they are given the right to choose the outcome of their pregnancy. Abortion, as a widespread social problem in America, has a negative impact on society. But God requires His people to take a stand for human life by taking action against the devaluation of human life. I will now validate this statement by presenting the idea that abortion is a social problem in America. The problem exists because people do not value human life the way they were created to. And a solution to abortion should be based upon the reinforcement of God's value of human life that will encourage us to refrain from manipulating the gift of life and honoring it instead. Let's take a closer look into this life-changing topic. Abortion is a social problem in America. Our former President Ronald Reagan rebutted abortion with a strong yet simple statement. I've noticed that everyone who is for abortion has already been born. Think about that for a moment. The amount of irony in that statement is remarkable. According to Michael Snyder, a pro-life author and expert, overall, more than 50 million babies have been aborted since Roe v. Wade was decided in 1973. This statistic deeply demonstrates the impact that the American government has on its people's abortion decisions. Once the law is taken away, people often emotionally detach themselves from the action, simply because it's legal. However, if we can keep the problem contained within the law, abortion is less likely to have as many occurrences. This leads me to my second point. The problem of abortion exists because people do not value human life in the way they were created to. Hillary Clinton, former First Lady and pro-choice activist, stated, "Pro-choice and pro-life people can find common ground by trying to reduce the number of abortions." This statement demonstrates the very lack of value concerning human life. When truly valuing life, every human is important. The motive is to demolish abortion rather than reduce it. In Luke 15:4, the verse states, "If a man owns 100 sheep and one of them wanders away, will he not leave the 99 on the hill and go look for the one that wandered off?" This is how, as a country, we should value our unborn life. Every life and potential life counts. This leads me to my third and final point. A solution to abortion should be based upon the reinforcement of God's value of human life that will encourage us to honor the gift of human life rather than manipulate it. There are many scriptures in the Bible that instruct us against the harm of innocent life. Exodus 20:13 simply states, "You shall not murder." However, many government officials, abortionists, and pro-choice activists state that because of scientific reasoning, abortion is not murder. This is what Dr. Neville Sender, an abortionist, stated. "We know that it is killing, but the state permits killing under certain circumstances." This is a chilling statement made by a man who aborts lives every day. No matter what scientific terms are used, Americans will one day be held responsible for their hand in abortion. This leads me to my conclusion. We recognize that America has an abortion problem. Every time we ignore the problem, more human lives are taken. This problem negatively affects our society, but God welcomes us as Christians to take a stand for human life, even when no one else is. The solution to this problem is to utilize our voting rights in taking a biblical stand against abortion and resurfacing the importance of all human life forms. Remember, human lives in America have been valued in the past, and they can be valued again. Stop abortion. Take a stand against abortion during election opportunities and vote abortion activists out of our government. I encourage you to proclaim your biblical morals loudly. Remind yourself of how greatly God values human life. Carry those values to the polls and give birth to the right for unborn life.